Well, you already have the sewing machine. What else do you need? Well, let's suppose you only have the sewing machine. So there's a few tools that are really useful and you need for sure in your sewing kit. Maybe you can even get one of these sewing kits, one of these economic ones that cover all the basics. So you have all your scissors and stuff like that to begin with, which is just fine, and then you can add more stuff. But there's a few ones that maybe you haven't thought of that are really useful. And now that I think of it, let's take a break here and say that for many of the things that I'm going to talk about, there are more videos I have talked about in a longer way, in a more... And let's start talking about scissors. Of course, scissors are very important, and you can get one of these cheap ones in a sewing kit, which are fine. They cut. There's no problem with them. But this is not the same as that. This is amazing. These are sort of tailor scissors. They're not quite as much, but you can rest your hand on the table while cutting, so they are really comfortable. Then you have your normal scissors, the dressmaker scissors, which are really good as well. And then one pair I love is embroidery scissors, because you can get rid of all the little threads you have around when you clean your sewing. And I love them because they're really good when you have to rip a seam open, because you don't have the risk of ripping the garment. So that's amazing. That's a plus. And remember that fabric scissors are only for fabric. And one little tip more for when you have to sharpen them, the bottle. I don't know where I put it. It's amazing that I'm filming a video without the stuff. So the seam ripper, you know the thing I mean, that devil thing that has cut our skin and cut open our garment in more than one way. It's very dangerous to use because you can just not get rid of the seam, but the whole garment. So be careful when you use it. It's quite dangerous, and sometimes in many occasions I'm using my little embroidery scissors to rip seams more than that one, because I can go slower cutting thread by thread and I don't cut the fabric in any way. So that's good. Found it. Well, the seam ripper, you know what it is. It's this tool, and it's badly called the seam ripper because it's a buttonhole opener. So when you've sewn your buttonhole, you just rip the fabric to open it. So the buttonhole is useful. But that's the thing, that you can rip fabric with it. So that's the danger. So that's why I'm using more my embroidery scissors. Maybe I open the seam a little bit with this and then I go on with the embroidery scissors, but just take into account, be careful. You see there's two ends and one of it has a little ball, so that's the one that has to go in. Don't go in with the pointy one because that's the dangerous bit. Go in with the round bit. So you get in the seam and start opening quite carefully, okay? Measuring tape and ruler as well. These are basic. Your measuring tape, you can find any at any sewing kit, because it's a must in the sewing room, in your sewing kit. And it is flexible, so you can wrap yourself with it to measure yourself. And it's really useful. There's much more to it than just measuring anything. You can do loads with it, and I have a whole video about it, so I'll link it. And then your ruler is really good when you're working with flat stuff. If you're making squares, like little baskets, things like that, it's also useful as well. Pins are going to be like sort of your besties, because you need them to join your fabric before basting or before going to the sewing machine. They are basic. You cannot just skip getting pins. There are different kind of pins. There are thinner ones, there are longer ones, there are sort of so many types, and there are as well the ones that have the little a colorful head on top, which are really easy to spot. So that's good as well. Get a few because you're going to use them a lot. When I started sewing, I was really afraid of losing pins, so I used to count them. I put 5 pins in, I get 5 pins off, and things like that, so I wouldn't lose them on the floor. My son was little, so you know. Tailor's chalk. Nowadays there are multiple options, many different kinds, so go to your haberdashery and see which one you like the best. You can even use a pencil on the back of your project. It won't be noticeable. I use this one because I have a whole box to use up, and this one, it doesn't worn really. You can have it forever. So I'm more sort of a classic girl, but there's many kinds. Just have a look and choose yours. Tracing paper. You cannot forget to get tracing paper, especially if you're going to work with pattern magazines. Pattern magazines bring loads of patterns in one same sheet, so you need your tracing paper to trace your own pattern and on your own size. So some people have told me that they even trace on top of the pattern, or they even cut it, which is is crazy. But I think that there are some magazines like Burda Easy or something like that that bring only one pattern, so maybe you can cut that one, but you should trace on tracing paper. It's quite a journey, but it's nice as well. So get it. Iron, one of these things that we always forget about. It's not only for the last step, for when we finish the project, is for in between steps when we have to open seams, or when we need to mark the edge of a seam, or maybe make sure that our hem is nice and crisp. So it's basic in the sewing room. If you don't have a sewing room, if you sew at home, in the dining room, in a study, you don't need to get a new one. With the one you have at home is enough. But it's basic. Don't forget about it. It's one of these things that make the difference. Bobbins, thousands and millions of bobbins. You need as many as you can get, really, because it's ridiculous that you're going to sew a project and you are threading the bobbin on top of another thread, or getting rid of all this useful thread because you want to sew in a different color. You need as many bobbins as you can. If you're going to sew a new project in red and you get your red thread, you need your red bobbin to match, of course. So get a few of them, and maybe you only sew that in red for a while, but maybe when Christmas come around and you sew red again, you have your bobbin ready. This doesn't go off, so you can have it there in your little case ready to use. And one little tip is that for basic colors like black or white, you can have many already threaded, so when a project comes, you can just keep sewing when one runs out, and you can use it for the inside of garments. For example, this colorful fabric, the inside is white, the wrong side of the fabric, so you can sew in white because it doesn't really matter. So just like that, you can make the most of your thread. And this might seem silly to name, but you need notebooks. You need a few notebooks around the sewing room because they are basic. You're going to be taking measurements. You're going to be thinking of ideas and projects. So you need to just have this to take note of everything you're going to do. This has been with me for years, and it's good because in the future maybe you want to look back to a project and see what you did, what was wrong, what was right, and it's really good. And papers on their own don't really work as well, because you can lose them or you can clean up and throw them away. A notebook you won't, so have a few of them. Pattern weights, they are basic as well, like everything in this video, in your sewing room, because they make your pattern stay when you're cutting, so it doesn't move. It's really useful. You can also have like pebbles from a summer you went somewhere and they are really special, but these are ideal, for example, if you make them as one of your first sewing projects. They are really easy. I'll leave you the link, and they are cute as well. I've also seen people that make them with clay. They're really nice as well. And we might risk sounding a bit cliche here, but we're going to keep all the little tins and boxes and things we're going to use as containers in the sewing room, because all this little stuff can get lost, can go wild. This is a jungle in here, and not only in a sewing room, but in a sewing box it can be as chaotic. So let's keep all these little things so our bobbins are in place, our threads are contained, and everything is a bit tidier, or at least we can try. And I have 4 things, and I have here 4 extra things that I think that maybe you can get with time. They are not expensive or anything, but they are basic. They are basic for your sewing room. They make your life easier. For example, a pincushion. This is really easy. You can make it as a first project. I'll leave you the links again. And it's easy to handle. At first, I used to have my pins, and I still have some, in my little tin of mints. But when you're working, it's easier to use a pincushion, and of course to take them off stuff and pin them there, it's much better. And some people don't like it because they say the inside is not as clean, but if you're afraid of fraying, you need some pinking shears. They are really useful, and they make you a bit more sure of the inside. So if you're afraid of them, of fraying, I mean, you can get this. And if you don't have an overlocker, this is another option as well. And if you're into patchwork or little projects like purses or pouch bags, you need to get one of these rotatory cutters. It's like a pizza cutter. I'm not a fan of them, but it is useful. I reckon it's useful with your little mat for cuts and cutting little squares and straight lines. It's really good. I'm much more of a scissor girl, but it's useful as well. And if at some point you leave the pattern magazines and try to make your own, the French curls are ideal for you, because you'll need them for all the curve things you need to trace, for your skirts, for everything really, trousers, things like that. Every curl on your body is going to be traced with this. So it is an investment, but it's a good one. So if you like it, don't doubt it. I can't remember if when you buy a sewing machine, I know they bring stuff in the little compartment down here, but I don't know if they bring any presser foot. But if you're going to sew, you need to add one to your collection, and for me it will be the zip ones. You need the zipper one because I mean, it's basic. You need one that is double, so you can use it for both sides of your zips, and then the invisible zip one is also advisable to get. There's the plastic one and there's a metal one. Since I know that there's a plastic one and I've used it, I haven't touched the metal one again, because the plastic one, the little nooks are much more deep, so they hold your zip better. Which other ones? I don't know, maybe you can get the plasticky one. If you have a look at them, you can get a few, or the bottom one, it depends, but the zip ones are basic. And a thimble, there's no excuse. We have to use our thimbles. It takes me, it's a bit difficult for me to get it because I'm used to just sew in a rush and just get on with it. But there's no excuse. Nowadays there are ergonomic ones that are really soft and comfy to use. You can't really even notice it. So there's no excuse. Just get your thimbles ready. This has been all the display of stuff we have around for you to show all my basics in the sewing room, and maybe you have other ones. So don't forget to comment and tell me which ones you cannot live without. And don't forget that I'm going to leave all the links here so you don't miss them. And if you can find them, it doesn't matter, let me know and I'll link them for you in your comment. And I'll see you around. Bye!